So, Romain, this is a fantastic creation. I love this.
Thank
I would
you.
describe this as a thing of beauty. It's quite difficult to put into words, but the structure isn't particularly high. It's fairly flat, but it has various ledges coming out of it, and it's one of those things that you would get a different perspective of depending on the side of the construction that you stand on. It's great. What does it represent?
Well, that's my myth. Although I've tried to represent something which you describe as a fantastic piece of architecture or structure. Actually, I voluntarily put it a bit wobbly with kind of weird foundations and spikes out at different levels. There's not much of an understanding of what this actually is, why it's made, and why it's standing.
It's difficult to describe for sure.
So you ask me what it represents, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So the myth I want to represent, or wanted here to represent, is the engagement people can or can't have with climate, where actually a lot of people think it's not their thing. They are not a climate engineer. It's complicated. It is science. And there is one side that says, yes, it is science, and it's science-based, and the science is clear. Nevertheless, there is another part that is just us being human and having the right behaviors, the right reflexes to become actors and have a behavior that changes the world around us. So when I hear it's not my thing, it's you are the head of climate, or that's not me, that's others. Actually, no, not really. That's everyone. I'm not bigger than you are. I'm the same. I'm just trying to gather people all around the same table for all of us to have an action and change the world, rather than me changing the world. You think I'm going to change the world? I can't do that alone. I'd like to. I can't do that alone. And we are many in my situation trying to change things. We are still alone. So we need to be all together. So if you listen to that, for example, rest assured you have a role to play. You have a part to play. And even engaging with climate is such a joy, because you find your alignment, you find your purpose in life. And finding this alignment is a big change, and is going to change your life. You are going to change the world around you, and this is going to change your life, because you know you are doing the right thing.
Fantastic. I love that. And you're exactly right.
Let's destroy that.
Get rid of the myth. Go do it, Romain. Yes. Full-handed, splat down. Love it.
That was easy.
Romain, it's been fantastic to speak with you today. Appreciate your time and you coming on the podcast.
We had a good chat. Thank you very much, Darren. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Just before we go, one last question for you. What advice would you give to somebody that works for an organization who finds that their organization are a bit backwards, or not as fast as, or not as engaged with making changes in climate as they would like to be? What advice would you give to them?
Yeah, that is a good question. And I hope they are, well, I would hope that there are not such people.
Yeah, but
and I know there are many,
there
many.
Are, yeah.
And it's hard to find a positioning in the business and in a company to be strong enough and brave enough, or crazy enough to raise a hand and say, guys, I'm not sure we are doing the right thing. But still, again, it's about this alignment I described before. Each requires some strength and some strength and some willingness to change the things. But once you do it, you feel so much better. You feel that you are doing the right thing again. You are on your tracks. You know who you are, and you know why you do things. So that's, for the business, I think it's good to raise issues. We have concerns, and I think the business are going to listen to that. Whether they are going to act immediately, it's something to manage, but they are going to listen because the businesses are listening to that. And two, from an individual perspective, it feels good to do the right thing.
Thanks for that advice.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Romain.